Hello, GBA fans, and welcome to week 4 of Around the week 3, week 4, week 4, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, week 4 of Around the Rhyhorn. I'm
Who's
your
the host
host,
here?
BulkyCottonCandy. Alongside me, I have my guest, my co-host, who is Domo Amagato, Mr. Roboto.
Yes. Hi, hello one and all. I am Robot1.
And then we have our guest analyst this week, returning to the show, actually. Why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself?
I'm back! What is going on, GBA? I am TheConfusion.
And then, last but not least, joining us as our guest coach for this week, we have the man, the myth, the legend.
And his name is John Cena!
Nope.
BattlerX.
Yeah, I'm just here for the views and stuff. When do I get my paycheck for this? Afterwards, or?
Alright.
We'll talk payment after the recording.
Yes, we will
Okay,
talk
good
payment, and we will work out wages, and you'll probably be working for like a quarter an hour, so let's just see. Alright, anyways.
Dude, you were supposed to tell him that.
This week we are talking about walls. Last week we talked about wall breakers, and this week we just thought it was fit enough to talk about walls. So that's what we're doing this week. So it's pretty much gonna be the same exact questions as last week. So don't be complaining that it's the same exact thing last week, but we're doing a different topic.
This is
so
nothing at all like last week. I'm here now.
this is true. This is true. We have the
Exactly.
man, the myth, the legend. Anyways, moving on. Let's just jump straight into our first main topic, which is what characteristics make a good wall. Why don't you go ahead and kick us off, Confusion?
Okay, well, for me, obviously a wall has to have recovery, right? Because without recovery, that wall is going to get whittled down, and...
Stealing my answers?
I'm not saying I read minds, but, I don't know. But, yeah, I mean, that's an obvious one. Every wall has to have some sort of recovery. Like, even through Regenerator is a great way to get recovery, can really help a wall. Just switch out, come back in, get recovery, whether it's recover, synthesis, soft-boiled, moonlight. There's so many ways to recover, and that's really, like, the main characteristic when you look at a wall that makes it very viable. Obviously, then you have its defense, its special defense, its HP. When you have something like Chansey, who has literally, like, 5 or 10 defense, and then 250 HP, it makes it a good wall. So obviously the stats and then the recovery is the most obvious answer to a question like that.
So just
Disagree.
going off recovery, that makes me a good wall, right?
I said stats. Mienshao has crap defenses.
I know, I'm just kidding. Alright, go ahead,
you flick it,
Spastic.
it
What do you
dies.
think? Give us your thoughts, Spastic.
Well, the thing about a wall is, if you want a strong physical wall, you want it to have like a base defense stat of, let's say, over 130. You know, so for example, Steelix. Steelix is a really good physical wall. Now, granted, it does have a lot of weaknesses, but it's a really strong.
Like Helios wall. Got him. Got him.
These nuts. Got him. Got him.
Ooh.
So you wanna have-
Referencing the
You
matches.
want to have high defensive stats, either high defense if you want a defensive wall, or Florgus, however you pronounce it. Take your
All the
pick.
references to Steve's games, all the references.
Too soon.
Oh. But yeah, so, but if you want like a good, there aren't many good mixed walls that are really effective, but I digress. What do you say, BattlerX?
Oh, easy. It's feasibility, man. Listen, you want like a lot of walls in League format. When I look at a wall, I go, how can I set up on that wall? How can I set up on a Blissey? How can I set up on a Cresselia? Because you can do that. But things like a Powdon, you can't set up on because that's Whirlwind. So walls that are unable to be set up on, I think in League play are the most effective walls in the game. Or else you can just sit in there and sub up and just start putting up sword stance like a Quillfish or something down like that. Because, like, what's the chance you're gonna do to a Quillfish? Nothing. It's gonna die. It's not a good wall. It's gonna
Yeah. Also, the most effective walls are the ones that can do a lot of damage back. Things like Garchomp and defensive Landorses, they can be very, very good walls, but they could also hurt without any attack investment. Really hurt your team with their stab attacks. Well, Earthquake and
I dare to make Garchomp a wall in the league play. Try it. Go ahead. I'll put the ice, man. I'll put hidden power ice and everything.
Oh lord. All right. Well, I mean, there are some
I
exceptions.
get your saying.
Yeah. So just in general, when you have Pokemon that can hit as hard as they are taking the hits, Pokemon like Rotom Wash with Hydro Pump and Volt Switch, also you have the momentum. Having U-turn or Volt Switch on a wall can actually be very useful because you can come in on a Pokemon that doesn't want to sit in front of that wall, so you know they're switching out, and then you could play on that by Volt Switching or U-turning, which is also what makes Pokemon like Rotom Wash such effective walls.
Yeah, it's low HP stat though is killing it. That's the only problem.
Yeah, something that I thought of recently, and it's really a very, very exclusive thing because only 2 mons are able to do this, is have an ability, like you were saying with phasing out where you can set up, is have an ability that just doesn't care about that. For example, Quagsire and Clefable are the
One
only
might say
2
they're
viable
unaware
mons
of
in
their
League
stats.
format that get unaware, which ignores all the stat changes, and they all have decent HP stats, and Quagsire's defenses aren't the best, but they're not bad either, except for its special defense. And then Clefable, we all know, has that sky high like HP and special defense, just does not die. It has decent special attack too, plus the fact that it's a fairy type.
After Saucebuck.
Oh my god. These references need to go.
I mean, so
Why?
I think that's a really good thing, because if you have, like, for example, I don't know, and this is going to be a bad example referencing Clefable, but Doublade come in and set up a Swords Dance, and it's going to sweep your entire team. You just switch in a mon that has Unaware, and then it's back to neutral, and then you burn it, and it's -1. Actually, -2, actually.
Very specific circumstance you just laid out for us.
Exactly, I know, but
It's almost like it
some,
happened to you in the
some,
past.
if you can do something like that, I think that having Unaware is a great way to. It's a good characteristic for a wall.
But even with Clefable, like, you can bluff Unaware and run Magikarp.
This
Like,
is
you
true.
have to, if you're going up against Clefable, you have to go, well, what if they're Unaware?
Yeah.
What if they're Unaware? So you have to take that in consideration regardless if they have it or not.
That's
Also,
the
there-
beauty of League format.
Yeah, also their type. Pokemon like Empoleon and Doublade, like, just their typings alone can sit in front of so many threats. Like, they sit in front of the fairies, they sit in front of poison types, they can sit in front of fighting types, Doublade can, Empoleon can kind of sit in front of some grass types, some psychic types. So just their typings alone can really help them be very, very effective. Doublade and Gligar being great Eviolite users, can also boost their defenses, and again, their typing is just really, really good. Gligar can pack immunity sometimes if he doesn't want to run Defog, which helps it not get toxic. Being able to avoid a toxic like the Blade, Chansey, and Gligar is also what makes a Pokemon a very good defensive Pokemon, because it can't get whittled down by those attacks.
You also
do
have
have-
to remember. You also have to remember that Steel types, when they're fully evolved, have an average base stat, a base physical defense of 124.
What do we have to remember? Like, we know that number off the top of our head.
Yeah, come on. You all...
Okay. Anyways, let's move
Yeah,
on.
you did your homework. We
So
get it.
why are walls important?
Well, they keep your sweepers alive, bro. Come on. New wire walls important. I can get my supers in for free, for safe. I don't, I'm not gonna switch in. I'm not gonna switch into Mega Pinsir to a Rock type move. I'll switch into Slowbar to that. What do you mean, why important?
Yeah, with-
question.
Risky plays. God,
Without-
risky plays.
Not working out for me so far. Is it?
without defensive Pokemon, you have to rely on sacks. Like, if a Pokemon comes in that can completely check your Pokemon, you're gonna have to sack another one of your offensive mons. Without a defensive core, you won't be able to rely. You'll have to rely on sacking Pokemon, and then your game is gonna end very, very quickly. So running offense can work in some scenarios, but it usually will not work out for people, because when it comes to offense, you have nothing that can take hits. So you're gonna have to sack off a majority of your Mons. So having at least 2 Pokemon on your team that create and build up a defensive core that can recover and that can help each other synergize very, very well. Pokemon like Mega Venusaur and Slowbro just work so well together. And just having them together and still being offensive gives you Pokemon that you don't need to sack. So that makes defensive Pokemon so important.
I third that.
Sign my name right below that.
We all agree that that's why walls are important. Alright, so...
Wait a minute. We could argue. If you told me we could argue that, I'll argue they're not important if you want.
I mean,
Right.
there
I mean,
really
that's
is
up to
no
you.
other
If
way.
you want to do it, go ahead. But
Oh, I
I
didn't know we were
I'm
gonna-
in complete agreement. That's why walls are so important, is because you need something that can take a hit.
I mean, I'll bypass the drug paraphernalia joke.
Yeah,
That's low hanging fruit. That's low hanging.
Alright,
That's
so
why I'm here, right?
now for
Yes.
a little more personal-ish question. What is your deepest and darkest secret? No,
Hey,
Wait,
hey,
which
I
Poke...
killed the man.
Oh,
Oh, no, that's, that
Wait, what?
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 Little girls, what?
What?
BattlerX revealed.
What?
What?
Why?
Little girls?
Yeah, that's better.
Alright, so which Pokemon is your favorite wall and why? Go.
Hippowdon. Recovery, phasing. It's a hippo, man. It's sick as shit, isn't it? This is like a little swamp hippo. It's great. Except it's in the sand instead of the swamp. It gets rocks, it gets recovery, it gets phasing, it gets an ability that it helps itself because it, hurts things around it. And the ability can also help the team if you build a team around it. Ergo, Hippowdon, best wall of 2016.
I'll give you guys a good answer. Mega Sableye. Oof. And let me explain why. Mega Sableye is one of my favorite, and I'm sure other people's favorites, like Dan's favorite walls. It's so good. It got such a huge buff because of its ability. Its 2 abilities complement each other so well. First of all, Prankster Will-O-Wisp or Prankster Calm Mind just makes you bulky on whatever you need to be in front of. Then you have Magic Bounce. You're not getting Toxic, you're not getting Will-O-Wisps. That's number 1. Then this thing can actually hit pretty hard offensively once it sets up a couple of Calm Minds. It's like Suicune. You get a couple Calm Minds up, and there's very little you can do to it, just like Cresselia as well. And then it has utility, it has knockoff, the Magic Bounce. It's typing. It's only weak to Fairy, and there really aren't that many fairies, even though they were introduced. Like, how many fairies are there really? You have Sylveon, you have Florges, you have a couple Megas, and that's it. There's not as many Megas as there are Water types, or Fire types, or Electric types.
There's no hidden power fairy.
And there's no hidden power fairy. There you go. So, in my opinion, Mega Sableye is just one of the best walls. It can do so many things. It can go physical or special. It's really good. It's really good.
I mean, Mega Sableye is a fantastic wall. Hippowdon is also a fantastic wall. But one of my favorite walls is actually in Tier 3, and it is Umbreon. Now,
Alright.
Oh,
sorry, I was out loud. My bad. Sorry. I didn't mean to insult.
Umbreon is one of my favorite walls because it has base 110 defense, base 130 special defense, and base 95 HP. So it also has access to Moonlight, which is good recovery. It can also Wish. It also gets Heal Bell, so it can be a wall, but it can also act as a cleric. Plus, you can just max out its spec defense and HP, and then you can run Curse. One of my favorite sets is the Curse Payback set, where you can just curse all day long, curse like a sailor, and then you have ridiculously high defense, good attack that you can just smack anything in front of you and not care. Now, granted, Umbreon does have weaknesses to fighting, bug, and fairy, but if you build the right team around it, Umbreon can be a good wall for you a good mixed wall. So you don't have to you can mold its stats, and plus you have a good utility mod in a wall. But that's just me.
Trash.
Something that I really like is actually in Tier 4.
God,
and
Jesus
it's
Christ.
and it's Alomomola. And the reason I say
Alma Mater.
All right.
No, you're wrong. Nope, you're wrong. Go home.
Let him talk. Let him talk. Let him talk, guys. Come on.
Okay, yeah.
The reason I say Alomomola is it gets Regenerator, it's Wish Protect, it has Toxic, which is what most walls actually have. Most walls use Toxic just to whittle down their opponents. And it gets Skull, and you can get Skull Burns. It has a base 165 HP, and if you set up a few Calm Minds, you can actually run it special defensively, especially if you slap an Assault Vest on it. And so I really like using Alomomola, although it is very overlooked, and it's actually kind of a little bit tricky to use as a wall. But
It can also poison steel types.
this is true.
Steve, you're just defending it because you had it last season.
Well, hey, it O-code Heracross, so you watch your mouth.
That's true. Alright, I'll give you some credit. I saw that Assault
Get
Vest.
destroyed, get blown back. Get
Didn't it
annihilated.
blow back?
BattlerX.
No,
Have
no,
respect.
Steve, didn't it blow back Agility on too? Like,
Yep, I know it
Hey,
did.
hey,
Yeah,
hey,
you can just soak steel types, and then
David, I hate to have to remind you of this, but it's not Steve, it's BattlerX.
they're blurring the lines of kayfabe right now. This is great.
It's not Steve, it's BattlerX. Steve
Alright.
is just the team owner. BattlerX is the coach.
Yeah, I get it right.
I didn't know. You didn't identify who we were talking to. The
I
coach
did.
or the...
In the beginning of the
did.
video, I said the
You
man,
did.
the myth, the legend,
Yeah,
BattlerX.
you set it up well, and you just ignored it.
Granted, he didn't give it the grandiose entrance that it deserved.
I was
but-
focusing on my intro,
Do,
okay?
do you want me to
Okay.
edit in the John Cena theme song? Because I will.
Oh crap, baskets. No.
Sure, you already did.
Yeah.
Yes, I do. Yeah, I really do.
If X
go,
desires
give it
it,
to
X will give it to you. Okay.
Alright.
Would you like
Next.
that, BattlerX?
Yeah, do whatever you feel is necessary. I put this in your creative control.
So let it be written, so let it be done. Alright, anyways, let's move on to our lightning round, and please try to keep this to one sentence, because last week we didn't do that, and it was like
Please.
10-minute long section.
I'm sorry.
So,
Please.
I'm sorry.
off the it wasn't your fault. Off the top of your head, I just completely roasted someone like on the DL. Off the top of your head, what's the first wall that comes to your mind?
Hold on.
Fairthorn.
Fortress. I don't know. You already said the two that I would have said.
It's not lightning
Yeah,
round.
I agree
That's more
with
than
that.
one word.
After that, I would have to go with something like defensive Lando T or like a defensive Jirachi or anything that's base 100 that he can run defensively.
It's quite the run-on sentence there, isn't it?
I thought we said run-on sentences weren't allowed.
Who's not following the rules?
Looking at you,
Anyways,
Mr.
Our
Hose.
next lightning round question: what's the best wall that's been used against you? And I'll just come out and say it, Cresselia.
Yeah, things are a bitch and a half.
Mega Altaria Season 4.
Yes.
Season 3. Season
Yes!
3, Season 4, Season 4.
Slowbro is annoying. You can't really touch that thing once it has Regenerator going. Your physical attaches can't touch it. It sets up Calm Minds. Don't even get me started with the Mega. That's it.
Mega Sableye. Ugh.
Sums up our.
Lots of Mega Save Life right there.
And that
Unanimous
summarizes
dislike
our
of Mega
lightning
Sableye.
round for you. We just all got really depressed with very bad memories. But anyways, let's move on to our debatable topic this week. And our debatable topic this week is, what way of quote-unquote walling your opponent do you think is better? Is it direct counters where like you switch in a Mon and your opponent just thinks, well crap, I can't do anything to this thing, I can't even touch it? Or is it more stalling where your opponent's just sitting there like, I just got toxicked and this thing is not going to die?
Choice A.
Yeah, I have to agree with A, because let's say it's a Pokemon like Talonflame comes at such a big threat, and then you send in
Rhyhorn.
a Rhyperior, exactly, and you just rock record that thing, you scald that thing, like you just get momentum right away just by switching in. The momentum is completely in your favor unless they go for an initiative move or switch out. Like, you have changed the game by switching in a Pokemon that can threaten it offensively instead of just allowing it to sit there.
Yeah, setup fodder is a real thing in leagues, and you don't want to become setup fodder. And I think if you're relying on toxic stalling, like I just click sub, and then you're in trouble.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree.
Unless
God,
you
we all
know,
can't agree,
unless
guys,
you know,
Jesus.
unless you know that your opponent doesn't have sub.
Well, now we're talking about certain circumstances.
I
here.
know.
Listen, I'll take side B if you want to argue with it.
We're all.
I
apparently
actually want you to
agreeing.
argue with it. I want
Okay.
Well, hold on. Like side B, like try to stall somebody out. Okay, like you've got Toxic Roost Stall Zapdos. Okay, that doesn't always work because all it takes is one solid hit and your Stallmon is dead.
Please, what one solid hit's gonna take out a Zapdos? You ever played Pokemon before?
Rhyperior.
One solid hit.
Not even Rhyperior.
He'd turn out of that so fast. All natural gift, like natural gift Waffleberry that in the face.
No, but you know some perfect walls. No. You want to hear some? Okay, no. How about the matchup between a Gastrodon and a Rotom Wash without HP Grass on the Rotom Wash? Because even if it did have that, it wouldn't even be doing that much.
They just sit there.
Yeah, what are you doing to me? What is this?
They sit there in
Pokemons
front
would
of
just
each
sit
other
there.
and just trade war stories because they
That
can't
game-
kill each other.
That game would never end.
Yeah, you have.
This is
you
the
have,
game
you have
that
recover with,
never
you have
ends.
recover with Gastrodon. You have Pain Split with Rotom Wash.
And they would just sit there and keep recovering the pain split and then pain splitting the recover, and it
Yeah.
would never
So
end.
that's stall. That's stall. What's gonna happen? You're gonna have to PP stall each other if no one has.
It would turn
Toxic.
it into a struggle fest.
If I ever got into a PP stall, I would just take my DS and throw it through the window and go do anything else with my life.
I would love that. Oh my god.
It's still go-kart, guys. Want to do that
Yes,
instead of
but
this?
I do agree that like direct countering to something that your opponent just cannot touch with the mon that it has in is the best way to just wall
All right,
because
I'm taking side B's. This is ridiculous. We gotta debate this. All right, debate.
Debate away, because I see no way. I personally see no way. Go for it.
Here's why. Because you can create a stalling chain, man. You can create 4 Pokemon and link them up together with the right moves, and you can't break that no matter what. I can tech like Iron Tail on a Tornadus for a Steel type. All right, so if you have bringing a Pokemon that is made to beat one of the Pokemon, the other player can tech something on there, and your whole plan went up in flames. But if you build a stalling core, man, you can't beat that shit. You can't. That's why it takes you 45 minutes for Cooper to play games, because you can't beat that.
Oh
Power
lord.
swap-
I'm not gonna start
Power
with.
Swap Shuckle. Power Swap Shuckle.
It doesn't work. Its speed doesn't even go high up enough. Even with a rock polish, it needs like 4.
Yeah, I know.
It has a base speed of 5.
That's 5. Yeah, that's 5.
Like that thing never works. Like
Yeah.
if that thing actually had like some decent, like maybe 30 base speed, throw some rock polish on there, and then I don't know, like that would probably be more viable. But sometimes it doesn't work.
Yeah,
you know?
I
Like a
know,
Shuckle for Sun and Moon.
I'm that person that likes to just say ridiculous things, and then people are like, "Wait, what?"
I assume that's where your username came from.
Ta-dum.
Exactly.
Oh my god. Who has
the easy button?
Who has the button?
Who has the easy button?
It's Steve. It's Steve. Yeah.
It looks like
No,
You were
no.
asking that question.
I wasn't asking.
David,
I
it
knew
is
it was you.
BattlerX.
yeah, you
X
killed
just
me
gave
right
us the easy button. I mean, the game over. We can't. All of our
GG.
arguments are hereby invalid.
GG, I quit.
But you know how you could also stall? For example, let's say you have Volcanion up against a Crocoon set, right? Like, the Crocoon clearly can't, like, you're forced to switch out. Like stall works, but that Suicune isn't going to stay in, so Volcanion...
Yeah, but like, I'm not gonna bring a Crocoon against a team with a Volcanion. Like, what the hell, man?
I mean, let's say his entire team, other than Volcanion, is weak to it, and you have plans to get rid of the Volcanion before you set up the Crocoon.
No way. Because what's like a Volcanion's gonna switch into a Suicune 100% of the time, no matter what Suicune has on it.
Hidden Power Grass, though?
What?
It'll
That's...
do 15%,
Power Grass is still
Calm mind.
neutral.
and then it'll. Okay, so now you got 2 moves out of the way. What are the other 2 moves?
Roar.
Okay, and
Scald.
And...
Easy. Scald.
all right, so Volcanion beats that. Next.
Yeah, Volcanion would beat it.
Absorb.
so what about-
Squad Resistance? HP Grass does nothing.
No, it's like 15%.
I mean,
Oh, what
even
about-
with base 95, even with a base 90 special defense, well, if you slap an Assault Vest on Volcanion, it can take those hidden powers pretty well.
What about Gliscor with Toxic Orb and Fling?
Bad.
Bad?
Yeah, bad.
So it's a one-shot chance, and unless you play it absolutely right, because otherwise,
No,
and then
okay,
what
so
happens
let me-
if you? What
Let me
happens if
explain
have
to
a
you
player
why
on your
Gliscor
team?
is good. No, let me explain to you why Gliscor is good, okay? Because Gliscor, okay, what Rex Gliscor is HP Ice, but Gliscor isn't coming in on special attackers, it's coming in on physical attackers. So if it's coming in on a Pokemon that doesn't get ice coverage and it's physical, like, I don't know, a Mega Pinsir, Like, it doesn't have the option for HP Ice with its
How do you know?
It's 65 base special attack. It'll be like hitting it with the regular return or something like that. You won't be getting an advantage. You know what? I'm gonna pull up the damage calc. You wanna play this game? I can play this game.
You know how you beat Gliscor? You trick a Petraberry on it.
That's how.
Score.
I don't know what a Petraberry does. Wait.
There's
that's
poison.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
No. Here's the thing. You have to, for Gliscor to work, Gliscor has to be played perfectly. There isn't an option where you make one mistake with Gliscor and it can still work. No, it has to be played perfectly.
The thing that I don't like about Gliscor
to a point where you have the Toxic Orb, you have Poison Heal, and you can protect.
But that's what it does. Like, that's why I hate Gliscor's wall, because quad weak to ice, and you can put like hidden power ice in like 3/4 of the meta, and it loses.
Oh my god, so many Pokemon do get Ice Punch. You can't lie. So many Pokemon get Ice Punch.
Yeah,
What about
offensive Gliscor is pretty good though. It's pretty fat. 95 base speed.
Choice Scarf? Earthquake?
U-turn?
It's really, I want to see some Choice Scarf. But also, let's talk about like Weezing. Weezing has one weakness, and its defense is through the roof.
Also, in one set. Like,
It does. It has Will-O-Wisp, Sludge Bomb, Fire Blast, or Flamethrower, and Pain Split. That's all it does.
or maybe Clear Smog.
Yeah, if you're lucky.
But like,
Yeah, if
you
you
know,
gotta-
you
know what it's gonna do.
If you
Yeah.
know you're going up against a setup mon, yeah, you're gonna bring Clear Smog.
Right.
But otherwise,
Weezing needs a Mega Evolution stat.
it needs to be
okay.
a it needs to be a fire poison type. Let's go.
So I have one more idea for you guys, and most people think it's a great wall, and it's really not. So what do you guys think about Ditto as a wall?
No, it's too variable.
It's not even that. It gets like it can sit in front of anything. Like
it's
it can
HP
sit in
stat.
front of us.
Doesn't
Not
it?
only that, like it can sit in front of Skarmory and they can't do anything to each other. But the thing is, Ditto will always lose because it gets 5 PP in everything.
Yeah,
That's
it's
the problem.
HP doesn't change
that-
either.
I was gonna say that's the problem with Ditto. It only gets 20 turns. It
And
only
that is
gets
not
20
good for a
turns.
Stallmon.
Even if you
Also-
switch it out, it only gets 20 turns.
Also, Geo, Ditto, Imposter doesn't work. It's going up against a sub. Just
Oh.
saying.
Yeah,
I mean-
watch its signification.
I mean, offensive Ditto works better. Like if you're going, like Ditto is meant to shut down setup mons, set up offensive mons.
Yeah.
It's really not meant to be a wall. I mean, sure, it can come in and copy a mon that has like Flash Fire, for example, and can sit in front of another Heatran, or it can sit in front of a Chandelure.
Sure.
But then what?
They can't sit in front of Chandelure or Heatran. Heatran can get Earth Power, and Chandelure gets Shadow Ball.
Exactly. So Ditto is not really a good defensive mon.
Yeah, whoever said that was
But
stupid.
let me just play a little bit of devil's advocate here. What if you're running Bright Powder Ditto, and you
Then
Bright
you're-
Powder the opposing
then,
Heatran?
then I'm gonna beat you up. That's what it is.
Then you might as well make a whole regime with Cooper. I think that's just what you might as well do at that
Hey,
point.
true.
I'll fight a man for that. Like, if I ever missed like an Earth Power, I will fight that man.
Oh Lord.
Fight me.
Yeah.
You don't do
Fight me,
that.
BattlerX,
There are
fight
some
me.
things. There are some things you just don't do on the sheer account of dickery.
Yeah, dick.
That is one of them.
Dickery.
Yeah. You know. You learn a new word every day. But
I don't think
know.
dickery. Let's Google it. Hold on. We'll learn something today. Nope.
Yeah.
It's not a real word. Nope. It's not.
Dickery.
So,
no,
Kids,
it just says
if
dickory
you
dickory
learn-
dock.
if you learned anything today, kids, it's
There's
that
an-
dickery. It's not a real word.
Actually, it is Urban Dictionary. When playing a game in such a way as to piss off anyone who is playing with you or against you, to turn being a dick into a viable way of playing a game. It is only dickery if they are aware of what they are doing and then smile about it.
Ignorance.
Wow.
Not ignorance. Alrighty.
Alrighty then. So that actually
Wow.
defines exactly what I was talking about. But that is going to be all the time we have for this week. So if you guys enjoyed this week and you have any comments, please let them down below. And all your listening links are down there. You can add the link to BattlerX's channel, which is also Steve's channel, which is kind of weird, but you know, it's whatever. Anyways, all our links are down there, and we will see you guys next week on Around the Rhyhorn. Thanks for
Can I
coming
get a
out.
last word?
See you next
Can I
week.
get a last word? Can I get a last word? Can I get a last word?
Bye.
Can I get the last word?
One last word from BattlerX.
What?
Transformers 3 was a pretty good movie.
That's all.
Shut up.
That went well.
That was what? Is this even GBA material anymore? What are we doing?
Yes, it is. Yes,
I mean, that's the beauty of Around the Rhyhorn is we just discuss.
Listen, man, I made the GBA. I said it's good. Okay.
Yes.
All right, yeah.
Yes. We have the magnitude seal of approval.
No, the fans will love it, dude. They'll love it.
Yeah, it's funny. They gotta enjoy some comedy. Everyone's so serious in the GBA.
I know. They gotta line up. I know.
No, but like
this
power rankings and weekly recaps and transactions, everything's so serious. They're gonna enjoy it.
See, now that we're getting into the swing of things, I actually had Smogon pulled up, so I got my stats right this time.